All right, Shalom. Like to give all praise to the Most High, YAHAWAH, by Hashem, YAHAWAH by Hashem, Dash. Peace to the hopefully elect, double honors to the apostles, elders, and brethren of great millstone, and all like-minded brothers who are preaching the truth all around the earth. To you I say Shalom. All right, this morning I'm just going to bring a quick little lesson. Lord willing, it'll be edifying to someone who watches the video. I'm not going to be long, just something that, again, within these times, we see all this stuff that's going on here, coronavirus and governors and what have you, shutting down states. Okay, it's a reminder of what time we living in, right? And for those of us who are in the truth and continue on in the truth, right, until the bitter end, we still have to do our lessons and go out here on the highways and hedges and bid the people to come in, right, unto the Lord's Supper. So I'm just going to touch on that just for a little bit, go through a couple of precepts, and then that'll be the end of it. Okay, I don't intend for this to be long. I'm gonna start out first in the Apocrypha Ecclesiasticus, chapter 43. I'm gonna start at verse 29. It reads, "The Lord is terrible and very great and marvelous in his power. When ye glorify the Lord, exalt him as much as ye can, for even yet will he far exceed. And when ye exalt him, put forth all your strength, and be not weary, for ye can never go far enough." Right. And sometimes, even as we go, we are just men, and we have to deal with work and family and all kinds of other issues that come up. And sometimes, in our minds, in our bodies, we get tired, But when it comes to the Lord, we have to keep pushing on, okay? Because those of us who do lessons and teach, and we know everybody's not a teacher and everybody's not a preacher. There are other offices and other gifts, through the Spirit that we all can do. But for those of us who do go out and preach on the street, and do lessons and post them and so forth, we have to keep pushing even when we're tired, and we do get tired. I'm at a point where I'm tired now, but nonetheless, we have to keep going. Salaki, I'm sorry. So let's look at a couple of things, man. Let's look at the whole issue of the parables of the sower, right, in the kingdom of the Most High. Okay, I'm gonna start off in Matthew 13, and I'm gonna roll through this. I think I'm just gonna start at verse 1, and then we'll continue on. Okay. This is Matthew 13, first verse, starting at the first verse. "The same day when YAHAWAH went out of the house and sat by the seaside, and great multitudes were gathered together unto him." Now, who are the multitudes? These are the people of his nation, right, who are round about these small areas and villages, right, over in Israel. Okay. Starting again at verse 2, "And great multitudes were gathered together unto him, so that he went into a ship and sat, and the whole multitude stood on the shore. And he spake many things unto them in parables, saying, Behold, a sower went forth to sow." Now remember, this is a parable, right? So it's a story. "And when he sowed," verse 4, "and when he sowed, some seeds fell by the wayside, and the fowls came and devoured them up. Some fell upon stony places where they had not much earth, and forthwith they sprung up, because they had no deepness of earth. And when the sun was up, they were scorched, and because they had no root, they withered away. And some fell among thorns, and the thorns sprung up and choked them." Verse 8, "But other fell into good ground, and brought forth fruit, some 100-fold, some 60-fold, some 30-fold. Who had ears to hear, let him hear. All right? Whoever can hear this and you can understand it, it's a benefit to you. Okay? Verse 10, and the disciples came and said unto him, why speakest thou unto them in parables? Right. The disciples want to know, why are you talking to them in riddles? Why are you not just being forthright and just telling them what you exactly mean by what you said? Right? That's essentially, if we use today's words, that's quite possibly what the disciples were saying. Okay? So he, verse 11, YAHAWAH answered and said unto them, because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. For whosoever hath, to him shall be given, and he shall have more abundance. But whosoever hath not, from him shall be taken away even that he hath. Right. You have it. It's a blessing to you. You're going to be increased. Okay. They don't have it. They're not going to be increased. Okay. Because they don't understand. Okay. For a short context of what it's saying. Okay. Verse 13, therefore speak I to them in parables, because they see and see not, and hear not, neither do they understand. And in them is fulfilled the prophecy of Esaias, which is Isaiah, which saith, by hearing ye shall hear, and shall not understand, and seeing ye shall see, and shall not perceive. For this people's heart is waxed gross, and their ears are dull of hearing. Right. You had wicked Israelites, okay, who could not understand from way back when, even when Isaiah was preaching, okay, and all the prophets of old, they wouldn't listen. So you still had the same people who were around even in Yahushua day, right? Verse 15 again, for this people's heart is waxed gross, and their ears are dull of hearing, and their eyes have closed, lest at any time they should see with their eyes and hear with their ears, and should understand with their heart, and should be converted, and I should heal them. Right, he wasn't trying to heal them. He wasn't trying to forgive their sins, as I'm going to go on to the next precept in Mark that's going to say that, okay? But blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear. Right, blessed are you because you understand what this gospel is about, okay? It's about the Redeemer coming for Israel, and that we are the Israelites, and that the kingdom of the Most High is for us. Blessed are your eyes and blessed are your ears if you can understand that, okay? That this is not about saving everybody on the earth, okay? That this world as you know it is going to pass away and the new kingdom is going to be set up, right? For the Israelites to rule. Verse 17, for verily I say unto you that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which ye see and have not seen them, and to hear those things which ye hear and have not heard them. Verse 18, hear ye therefore the parable of the sower. Okay, so that is what he was trying to get across to them. Okay, so let's quickly move over to Mark. Let's look at Mark 4, and we're going to have the same account in Mark 4, but a few of the words are different. Okay, let's go on to Mark 4, verse 1. And he began again to teach by the seaside, and there was gathered unto him a great multitude, same multitude, so that he entered into a ship and sat in the sea, and the whole multitude was by the sea on the land. And he taught them many things by parables, and said unto them in his doctrine, hearken, behold, there went out a sower to sow. Again, this is the parable of the sower spreading that seed, okay? And it came to pass, as he sowed, some fell by the wayside, and the fowl of the air came and devoured it up. And some fell on stony ground where it had not much earth. And immediately it sprang up, because it had no depth of earth. But when the sun was up, it was scorched, and because it had no root, it withered away. And some fell among thorns, and thorns grew up and choked it, and it yielded no fruit. And that's the word that you get from certain people. These are different little categories. Some will hear the word and they go on their way. They don't care about it. Some will hear it and say, oh man, that's nice. And then the things of the world get into your mind and get into your head, and you worried about this world, and then you forget about the word that came to you. So that's what is certain categories that he's putting the word in, okay, and giving them an illustration. All right. So let me go on here. Verse 5, and some fell on stony ground where it had not much earth, and immediately it sprang up because it had no depth of earth. But when the sun was up, it was scorched, and because it had no root, it withered away. And some fell among thorns, and the thorns grew up and choked it, and it yielded no fruit. And other fell on good ground. Right, here's where the good ground is. Here's the hearing and the seeing. Okay, and yielded fruit. What are we supposed to do? We're supposed to be producing fruit for the kingdom. We're supposed to be able to bring people in, draw people in with the word, okay? Or the word will do the drawing, not us as men. We don't do anything. The word is what's going to do it, okay? Let me correct that because I don't want nobody to think, something otherwise, okay? Verse 8, and other fell on good ground and did yield fruit and sprang up and increased and brought forth some 30, some 60, and some 100. And he said unto them, he that hath ears to hear, let him hear. And when he was alone, they that were about him with the 12 asked of him the parable. And he said unto them, unto you it is given to know the mysteries of the kingdom of the Most High. But unto them that are without, see, they're without the understanding. Okay, all these things are done in parables, right? That seeing they may see and not perceive, and the hearing they may hear and not understand, least at any time they should be converted. Here it is again, being converted, right? Coming back to who you are. And their sins should be forgiven them, right? So he's not here you're going to have 2/3. We go over this all the time. 2/3 of Israel is not going to make it on this side, on this go round, okay? Um, Let me get back to verse 12. And their sins should be forgiven them. Verse 13, and he said unto them, know ye not this parable, and how then will ye know all parables? The sower soweth the word. Okay? As the sower, that's what we do. We sow the word. We don't do anything. We just go out there and sow the word. That's what we're supposed to do. Okay? Um, I think I wanted to go over now to same account of the same story. Go over to Luke 8. We start at verse 4. And when much people were gathered together and were come to him out of every city and spake by a parable, a sower went out to sow his seed, and as he sowed, some fell by the wayside, and it was trodden down, and the fowls of the air devoured it, and some fell upon a rock, and as soon as it was sprang up, it withered away because it lacked moisture, and some fell among thorns, and the thorns sprang up with it and choked it, and the other fell on good ground and sprang up and bare fruit in hundredfold. And when he had said these things, he cried, he that hath ears to hear, let him hear. And his disciples asked him, saying, what might this parable be? And he said, this is verse 10, and he said, YAHAWAH said, unto you it is given to know the mysteries of the kingdom of the Most High, but to others in parables, that seeing they may not see, and hearing they may not understand. Now the parable is this: the seed is the word of God, as it says, or the word of the Most High. Okay, and let me keep going. Those by the wayside are they that hear, and then cometh the devil and taketh away the word out of their hearts or their minds, lest they should believe and be saved. Right? Lest they should believe and be converted. Okay, be saved. They on the rock are they which when they hear receive the word with joy, and these have the root, which for a while believe, and in time of temptation fall away. Right, you got people who fall away from the truth. Okay, and that which fell among thorns are they which when they have heard go forth and are choked with cares and riches of pleasures of this life, and bring no fruit to perfection. Okay, now I'm gonna move down. Let's see. Right, I'll just stop right there. Verse 15. Let me see. But Yeah, I go to verse 15. But they on the good ground are they which in an honest and good heart have heard the word, keep it, and bring forth fruit with patience. Okay? So that's what we do. With patience, we constantly work. We constantly get out there. We constantly make a video. We constantly talk, you know, to bring forth fruit, to bring that 30, that 60, or 100 fold, right? What? To do what? To fill the house of the Lord. Okay? If we go over to just a few pages over in Luke, and I'm not going to read all of Luke 14, but I'll start at um, I'll just start. Let me see. I'll start at verse 15. This is Luke 14, start at 15. And when one of them that, and this is just another story, another parable that the Lord has given as an illustration um, about bidding you back to the marriage, per se. Okay, you can read that on your own time, but I'll just start for time's sake at verse 15. And when one of them that sat at meat with him heard these things, he said unto him, Blessed is he that shall eat bread in the kingdom of the Most High. Then said he unto him, A certain man made a great supper and bade many, and sent his servant at supper time to say to them that were bidden, Come, for all things are now ready. And they all with one consent began to make excuse. The first said unto him, I have brought a piece of the ground, and I must needs go see it. I pray thee have me excused. And another said, I have bought 5 yoke of oxen, and I go to prove them. I pray thee have me excused. And another said, I have married a wife, and therefore I cannot come. So that servant came and showed his lord these things. Then the master of the house, being angry, said to his servant, Go out quickly into the streets and the lanes of the city, and bring in hither the poor and maimed, and the halt and the blind. And the servant, verse 22, and the servant said, Lord, it is done as thou hast commanded, and yet there is room. Verse 23, and the Lord said unto the servant, Go out into the highways and hedges, and compel them to come in, that my house may be filled. Right. So we have to fill the Lord's house. And I wanted to back up, Salakia, to go to where it said that, Matthew, in Matthew it said, talking about Esaias saying, that having eyes and not being able to perceive, and hearing and not being able to understand. It goes back to Isaiah 6. Okay, that's what the Lord was quoting. And I'm not going to read all of Isaiah 6. I'll just read verse 8, 9, and 10. And it says at verse 8, this is Isaiah 6. It says, this is Isaiah, also I heard the voice of the Lord saying, Whom shall I send, and who will go for us? Then said I, Here am I, send me. And he, the Most High, said, Go and tell this people, Hear ye indeed, but understand not, and see ye indeed, but perceive not. Make the heart of this people fat, and make their ears heavy, Salakia, their ears heavy, and shut their eyes, lest they see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and understand with their heart, and convert, and be healed. Okay, so that's what YAHAWAH was quoting when he said, as it was written, fulfilling the prophecy that was written in Esaias, is Isaiah 6. Okay, I wanted to get that before I forget. But anyway, Lord willing, that's edifying to someone who watches the video. We go out there, we preach the word, we teach the word, and whatever it is, your lot, whatever your gift is, keep doing what it is you're supposed to be doing. And in this particular day and time, when the world is starting to go crazy, we're getting excited because we know that our kingdom is just on the cusp of coming. Okay, we have to keep pushing forward. Oh, I know what I wanted to close with. Let me see, Slaki. Let me see if I can get to it real quick. That the world has changed right as you know it. Right, every day they're coming up with something else. Okay, And they're trying to keep everything a mystery. Salakia. They're trying to keep everything a mystery, right? But the kingdom of heaven, for us who believe and are in the faith, is no mystery to us. Okay? We're not marveled or perplexed, okay, at what we're seeing. Let me see what I wanted to go to. Okay, yeah. So with that, I'm just going to say there's going to be more stuff that's going to be coming. Look for it. Get excited. You know, it's going to be some hard times coming this way. Revelations 2:10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall come, shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. Okay, that's what we shooting for. Okay, all praise to the Most High, Yahawah B'Shem, Yahweh Shai B'Shem, Rakar That's peace to the hopefully elect of Israel. Double honors again to the apostles, elders, and brethren. Great millstone, all like-minded brothers who are preaching the truth all around the earth. Jake, that window is closing. Shalom.